Hey everybody, this is Ian Withrow. Today we're going to be looking at the low bar squat. Some of the setup, the breakdown of the technique, and also the execution of the lift we're going to be looking at. As you see here, I'm getting underneath the barbell, and as opposed to a high bar squat, I'm going to be placing the barbell over my rear delts and my lower trapezius. It's going to be placed lower on the back. Some people can bring it down a lot lower. Other people, it's looking more of like a high bar. This is basically based on preference and build type. For me, this is where I feel comfortable. You're going to see in a moment my feet, but first we're going to see the setup, bringing my chest up, creating a Valsalva maneuver in my torso, taking a nice deep breath, bracing, and I'm standing up. And as you stand up, I want you to stand up and imagine pushing your hips forward and squeezing your glutes. I want you to stay there and let that weight settle, and then begin taking your steps back. I really want to stress the importance of waiting after you stand up before you walk it out. It's a very poor habit to have where you immediately unrack and immediately step back, especially as the weight gets heavier, and I want you to practice it even with the lighter weight in your warm-up sets, holding that weight at the top for a second, letting that weight settle, then stepping back. When we step back, I want you to step back with 3 movements. Taking a step back with either your right or your left, followed by your other foot. As we see here, I'm going to be taking a step back with my right foot, keeping my elbows down. What happens is if your elbows stay back, you're going to be rounded over, and we'll get to that in a moment. As we get back to our feet, notice how I step back with my right, my left, 1 step. From here, I'm doing my 3rd movement where I position my feet. This is where I'm going to find my stance. Really try to screw my feet into the ground, try to find that stance, find that width. From there, take a nice deep breath, create the Valsalva maneuver. And as I go down, just like with any squat, I'm keeping my breaking parallel, having the top of your hip go below the top of your knee. And notice how the barbell stays in a nice straight path all the way through. Every rep, the barbell is going directly over top of my feet, and then coming straight back up. You'll notice in a moment, I will look at the back and look at the elbows. You really want to try to keep the barbell moving in a straight line up and down. You don't want the barbell moving around, going past your toe, past your feet, and if it goes behind your feet, you're probably falling over. So just like before, you're going to get underneath the barbell, place it over your rear delts, your lower traps. Now from here you really want to bring the elbows down, and what that's going to do, if you have the elbows flared back where they're raised up, it's going to force you to round over, restricting your ability to perform thoracic extension, basically keeping your, your chest up. What this will result in is when the weight gets heavier, or when you are fatigued, you're going to end up rounding over, either performing a good morning, which is where you straighten out your legs first, and then squat, and then lift your back up in 2 separate motions, which is not what we want. We want the squat to be moving in 1 fluid motion, as you see here. Then as I come up, just like that, coming right back. In a low bar squat, you're going to be sitting back a little bit more than you normally would in a squat, and then a high bar squat, excuse me. So it's going to activate more your glutes and your hamstrings and your lower back. Now we're going to transition over to the full speed footage of the low bar squat in all 3 perspectives. Hopefully this video helps. Hopefully you're able to utilize these tips and tricks to add in your training for low bar squatting.